Okay, welcome to Dakami. I go by the name of Shabi. In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how you can create a database in Access, create tables, create forms, create queries, and generate reports, and then create relationships. Okay, so it's very simple, but some people find it very difficult because they've not been trying their hands on it. So I'm here to help you through, and then you can use it anywhere. So let's go straight into the video. Okay, so this is the Access interface. Okay, so in Access we call everything we see here as objects, any field we see as objects. Okay, so if you want to create let's say a new database, you can go to file, home. I'm opening. Okay, so you can, when you open the Access database, this is the interface you see. So you click on blank database, and then you can name your database. Okay, so we are going to name our database maybe school. Okay, so maybe you are creating a database for a school. All right, so this is it. So when you create a database, first what you see is a table. Okay, and then a table contains headers. Okay, so we are going to take them, and then with the headers to they have fields. Okay, so with these fields they take information about a particular object, okay. So we're going to create our first table, of which I've done that already. So you can right click on here where you see the ID. Okay, so you right click on it, and then you go to rename. So maybe you can name it maybe class. Okay, so class. And then the first field you see here, or the first header I see here, which is the class, mostly is assigned to an auto number, so automatically generates a number anytime you add new records. Okay, so when I click on enter, there's it. So the next field we are going to take maybe a short. So a short text represents maybe a name or a string. So maybe you want to input something, or a name, or maybe a name of a person, a name of a car or something. We just have to use what, a short text. So we left click on it, and then we can put maybe students. Okay, so students, right? Let me add my s, and then maybe you want to do something like age, so we can click to add. You left click, and then age is always a number, so we can click here, and then we name it age. All right, so this is basically how to create a table. So I can come here, students, maybe I can type Ray. Okay, when I type Ray, and then maybe we give Ray 20 years. Okay, so we see that at the class field, under the class, one has automatically been assigned to it, just because when I click on it, let's look here. When we look at the menu bars, okay, so we have home, create, external data, database tools, help, and then table fields. Now, following amounts to this part, which says data type, is an auto number. So when I put on it, so you see, set the data type for the field. Data types control the type of data that a field stores, such as integers, text, and then currencies. Okay, so these are first table. So we can go on and add more words records. Okay, so maybe I can do Troy. So when I do Troy, automatically it assigns a number, which is 2. We can change it by right clicking on it. Okay, and then we can come to where the auto number is, and then change it to maybe a short text or something. So let's leave it like that. So that's basically what we are going to do. So we've created our table, and note that in databases we have two forms of database. We have relational database and non-relational databases. Okay, so a relational database is a database that has only one table. Okay, one table. And then a non-relational database is rather a database that has only one table. And then a relational database is a database that has two or more tables. Okay, so like this, I earlier on created a database with two tables, okay, of which you are going to use in today's tutorial. So first table is table customer. Okay, so that's the name. So I have last name, first name, city, and then the state. Okay, so there's it. And then I have other table, which is the order ID, the customer ID, and then the order date. Do you get me? So first of all, I'm going to take a question from a book. Okay, so I'm taking a question from a book which says, uh, create a query to list all products in stock. So we have no products. I'm coming. Create a query to select all Louis Vuitton products. Create a query to display total cost. Okay, so let's do it this way. Create a query, okay, to list all first names. Okay, so you're going to create a query to list all first names. This is very simple because this is a relational database, because it has two what tables. We can go on to what link maybe some fields we have in both tables to make it a relational database, because it has a relation. When we say a relational database, a database which has a relation between the two tables or three or more tables. So we can go to database tools and then we click on relationships. When we click on relationships, I've already done some relations here already. So let me close the relationship. Okay, so let me click on it. I think I have to delete it. Let me see. I'm coming. So clearly out. Okay, so I have no relationship here. So this is how to create a relationship. So let me do it again. Yes. Okay, so we go to database tools, relationships. We don't have any relationship. So when you come here, you see add tables. Okay, add tables. So we can double click on the tables we have created already. So I'll double click on table customer and then table order. Okay, so it has already been linked, but when you have a look at the tables here, we have customer ID, last name, first name, city, blah blah blah, and then we have order ID, customer ID, and then order date. Now the first field we see is the customer ID, of which is a primary key in our table, in the table customer. Okay, it's a primary key here, but then when it comes to the table order, it's a foreign key. Do you get me? It's a foreign key. So what you have to do is click on it, click and hold, you drag, and then you bring it to the customer ID. So it says a relationship already exists. Do you want to edit the existing relationship to create a new relationship? So for me, it's no. So that's it. So you do control S. I've already saved it. So control S to save it. Now we can come back and then we are going to create a query. Okay, or let me see, let's create a form first. So this is how to create a form. First you select a table customer. Okay, so you select a table, so table customer, and then we go to create. When we go to create, we have table design, SharePoint, query design, form design, and other stuff. So maybe you're writing an exams and then you want to move very fast. What you have to do is just come here, click on form. When you click on form, automatically it's going to, so this expression is typically wrong or is too complex to be evaluated. For example, a numeric expression, maybe try similar expression. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Good. So there's our form, but we are coming to make our form more nicer. We're going to put in what's the name? We're going to put in more buttons so that we can add records, save them, and then delete records. Okay, so let me make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so customer ID, so we can come here. You see form layout design. So we have this. When you put your mouse pointer on it to hover for you to select objects including ink, shapes, and text areas. And then we have our text box, and then we have our label, which are text. And then we also have our button. So we are going to click on the button and then we move it at the end of a field. Okay, a form field. So at the end of customer ID, we can click there and then we can see what action do you want to happen when the button is pressed. So we are going to create a button that will put an action in it. So we have record navigations, record operations. So that's what we are going to record operations. So we are going to select add new. So next, and then we want a text to display on our button. Okay, then finish. Good. So okay, so we can see our button here. So let me, okay, so let's leave it this way. So we can go on and then add more buttons. So I can come here, click here, record operation. So first one was add record, second one will be delete record. Okay, so I can just click on finish. Okay, so you have the delete and you can do it you can make it or turn it into maybe a text or a label. Okay, so then we can go to uh so we click we click so add delete, let's say save. Okay, you have to save in all the records, so text, so save record and then finish. So okay, so there's it. So with this we can input um any data into the table and then through the form. Okay, you can input data into the table through the form, so we don't have to go to the table always and then input data there. We are going to go professional this time. All right, so we do our control S. Remember to be saving your work. So this is a table customer, so we name it, we add our form to it. Okay, then we click on okay. All right, so we can now close it again. We are going to close everything again and then we open the table form. Okay, so there's it. So now we are going to click on add record. So when we click on add record, you see customer ID new. So we are going to input last name, so maybe Kweku. Okay, and then first name, I'm going to use my name. I like my name so much, so Osborne. All right, so Osborne, and then the city, I mean Accra, ACCRA, and then the state, maybe we'll do it AC. Okay, or AG. All right, AG. Right, so let me do the Accra capital A. Good. So that is, and then I can now click on save record. So automatically it generated a customer ID for me, which is number 7. So we've clicked on save record. So what we have to do now is go to the table customer or the customer table, and then let's see whether Kweku is here. And voila, we have Kweku as number 7. The name is Osborne. The city is Accra, and then the state is AG. Okay, so the state is AG. So let's do it GT rather. Okay, yeah, okay. So enter. So we are done. So this is how to create a form. Okay, so you can add more buttons to find sets. You can even add background, colors, icons, and other stuffs for it to make more nicer. So I'll be dropping a full episode on Access Database on how to create very nice looking databases. So if you know you are new to the channel, just hit the subscribe button, like the video. Let's go straight into creating our queries. Okay, so we can now close them, and then so we've selected the table customer. Okay, so we can go to create query wizard, query design. So let's click on query design. Okay, that'll be better. And then we come here, we click on add tables. So we double click on the table customer. When we click on it, boom, here we go. So now we are going to let me look for a question. Okay, so we are going to create a query to show all first names. Okay, so create a query to show all first names. Create a query to list all first names. I have a question which says create a query to list all products in stock. Okay, so create a query to list all first names. Okay, so this is going to be our query. So we go to the query, and then what you have to do is, you see the table should be what the table name is table customer. So we can click here. That's the only table we've imported, so we click on it. And then the field you can just come here and then click on, maybe they said first name. Okay, or last name. You can use last name, any of them. So first name, so we double click on it and then it shows here, right? Yes, so good. So that's our query. Our query is to show all first names. Good. And then yes, that's it. So we can then click on save, control S. So you are going to name the query customer. So query first name. Okay, so query first name. First name. Okay, then we click on okay. So After that, we can now go back. After now, we can now go back to check on our queries. So we are done. There's our query. So we can then double click on it, and then there's it. So the query brought out the first name, all the first names in the table or in the database, which is Tony Lion, Tony, yeah, Afefa, Kimberly, and then Osborne. So that's the query. So that's this simple. This how to create a query. It's very simple. And then now, out of the query, we can create a report. Okay. So let's see. There's a query, and then we can go to I think database. No, sorry, create. When we go to create, we can now find table design, SharePoint, query design, form design, and then reports design. So we can now go to reports, click on reports, and then boom, we've created our report. It's simple. So maybe you work, you're an IT administrator in a company, and then you've been asked to maybe generate a report on the number of people that maybe visited a company, maybe the month of July. So the number of people and with their names. Okay, so definitely when anyone enters the company, they put in their details, everything. So you have their number, maybe you have your database, you can just generate your query, and then boom, that just is good to go. So you see, the form is generated with, or the report is generated through the query. So if you don't have a query, you can't generate a report. So you see it here, and then the report was created on Tuesday 27th August 2024, and the time is 7 o'clock, 7 2, okay, p.m. and then page 1 of 1, right? So it's very simple, and that's all for the video. I got you covered. If you know you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like the video. This is Jack Army. We do everything tech, IT, cybersecurity, PC tricks, everything. Charlie, subscribe to the channel, share the video to your friends. I wish you all the best in your exams. Bye bye. Boom.